BAYC, Bored Ape Yacht Club, the highest market cap NFT, is racist? All that remains to be answered is, why? Let neither perceived errors, nor purity tests, of the people who discovered this shield BAYC's racism. Yesterday, it came to my attention that the world's largest non-fungible token project, known colloquially as Apes, but officially as BAYC, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, is undeniably racist. That is to say, it contains racist imagery and nods to racist alt-right communities online, such as Pole, Gropers, and Boogaloo Boys. I am sure of this, I consider it beyond doubt. The only questions that remain for me are who knew? And why did they do it? This article will have 4 main sections. In the first, I will explain why I'm writing this article, why I think my voice is needed. In the second, I will go over only the obvious, credible evidence that clearly demonstrates racist dog whistles in BAYC communications and content, whether sold as an NFT or otherwise, demonstrating to anyone of good faith that BAYC is clearly unabashedly racist. In the third, I will switch from straight reporting of facts to speculation based on my years of experience, and give several theories as to why BAYC may be racist. In the final section, I will discuss why the conflicts of interest of some of those who first discovered this do not truly matter, and indeed, would be suspicious if absent. Section 1. Why add your voice? I was late to this party. This has been known in activist and NFT circles for a while. And, indeed, I had been informed in the past of BAYC's racism, I just found it too far-fetched to believe. But yesterday I finally was able to find time to do the research required to overcome my skepticism, after watching a June 19th presentation by Philian published 3 weeks prior. I am uniquely situated to make this assessment. I founded 8chan in October 2013, after having been a 4chan user since 2006. Although I was mostly a user of 4chan, the technology board which made me a lifelong free software developer, I have internationally recognized expertise of image board culture in general, and at different times of my life used the 4chan boards a 9K, Robot 9000 through which Pepe and Wojak entered the mainstream, Wojak originating from German image board culture, news, JP, otaku culture, and programming. I have been cited in hundreds of mainstream media articles about image boards and internet culture, and have appeared in scores of podcasts, documentaries, and television news segments. I was never in the alt-right, I was a libertarian, an Ayn Randian objectivist type cringelord. However, after Jim Watkins, you may know him as QAnon, acquired 8chan via domain registration shenanigans in January 2015, I came to learn much about the alt-right. I've only learned more about it since resigning from 8chan in April 2016, and fighting against Watkins, his son, and 8chan itself since the 4th quarter of 2018. I have an ethical duty, therefore, to add my voice to those saying BAYC is racist. First of all, I am one of few with the requisite experience to say so credibly. But more importantly, those who are saying it have conflicts of interest which are causing them not to be believed. I have no such conflicts. I have been against NFTs since the very beginning, and I am in general very crypto-skeptical. I still have some channers, ex-channers in some cases, as friends. Of a sample of 3, all 3 agreed that this was intentional dog whistling upon reviewing the evidence. One even thought it was hilarious. They won't speak out on their own, their opinion needs someone like me to be heard in the mainstream. I add my voice primarily to establish it as a fact that BAYC contains racist dog whistles, and to encourage people to think in a more nuanced way about the founders and the potential motives. Section 2. What's the proof BAYC is racist? I am taking the advice of Liv Agar, who also reviewed Philian's video, and in this section I am only going with the slam dunks. A particular failing of Philian's video, and another reason I write this, is because the video contains a lot of nebulous, quote-unquote galaxy-brained, associations between 4chan racists and BAYC, mixed in with very strong connections. This was done, I believe, because YouTube rewards watch time, and Philian's audience is terminally online. I do not believe any of what Philian included he thought to be false, but I find no reason to regurgitate it all, and think that because some of it is obviously false, or at least highly far-fetched, repeating it only hurts the argument. Proof 1. The BAYC logo is literally just the Totenkopf. The most bizarre thing to me about this evidence, besides how striking it is that the number of teeth, 18, were matched perfectly, despite the design being so different. While some, such as A.T. Wilkinson, have pointed out that the Totenkopf does not always appear with a rough border historically. This does not satisfy me because when it is used as a meme by the alt-right on 4chan and elsewhere, the version Ryder Rips shows, with the rough border, is the most common. Truly, the rough border of the BAYC logo is bizarre for a modern NFT project. And, as an expert in computer typography, my job is actually making fonts, not any of this. I can say unequivocally it does not at all match the humanist sans serif used in the BAYC logo. Wilkinson again points to motorcycle gang patches, and again I have skepticism of this calm explanation. Many motorcycle gangs are racist or white nationalist. Many of the patches he lists are also from racist or semi-racist groups. Even were a motorcycle gang patch the source of the design, the copying of the number of teeth is inexplicable. I don't view this as very strong evidence, but mention it as a possible motive for the number. While the symbol of the Totenkopf predated Adolf Hitler, its number of teeth, 18, was given a folk etymology among white supremacists. 1 equals A, 8 equals H, A, H, Adolf Hitler. The Fillion video failed to mention the Totenkopf predating Hitler's rise. More reason for me to mention it. Proof 2. Many BAYC NFTs wear hachimaki which read kamikaze. I know Japanese. Japanese is a complex, beautiful language, so I consider myself a lifelong student of it, and write much better than I speak as I learned it originally to post on 2channel, the English Wikipedia article about which I wrote. Nevertheless, I consider my level above intermediate. I certainly know enough Japanese to know that in Japan this image would be very offensive, especially labeled as a sushi chef headband and especially if drawn by a foreigner. This was the most shocking dog whistle of all to me because it's just so absurdly, obviously racist. It reminded me of racist 4chan and 8chan posts I'd come across in my past about so-called gooks and Japs. Indeed, the word kamikaze itself is often used as a slur for Japanese people. The word kamikaze, in Japanese, today occupies the same place as entatere does in German. Consider this exchange reported in an article entitled Kamikaze, Suicide, Pilots, How do Today's Youth View Them? By the BBC's Japanese edition.
不合理。英雄的。愚か。神風特攻隊についてどう思うか。東京で若者3人に聞いたとき、彼らが口にした言葉だ。ヒロイック、英雄的と、池澤匠さんは、弟の俊平さんが選んだ言葉を聞き返した。お前が、そんな右翼だなんて知らなかったよ。戦争から何十年も経った、今も、神風特攻隊に対する意見は、割れたままだ。割れている理由の一つには、その歴史が政治手段として繰り返し使われてきたことがある。
Irrational. Heroic. Stupid. Those were among the answers heard by the BBC when it asked 3 Tokyo men what they thought of the kamikaze pilots of World War II. Heroic? Said Takumi Ikezawa, looking for confirmation from Shunpei, his little brother. Ha ha. I didn't know you were so far right, came the reply. Decades after the war, opinions about the kamikaze pilots remain divided. One reason is that the history has been used for political purposes.
Indeed, much like in Tatere, kamikaze is very politically colored. The more happy you are to say it and wear it in any context, the more likely you are to be a Japanese ultranationalist. Here's how a Japanese dictionary describes the word kamikaze for a Japanese audience. Note definition number 3.
第一項、神が吹き起こすという風。特に、元寇の際に吹いた、激しい風。第二項、第二次大戦末期、日本軍の特別攻撃隊に関した名称。神風特別攻撃隊。特攻隊のこと。第三項、2から転じて、その行為が、向こう水で人命を粗末にする例え。例、神風運転。第四項、昭和12年、1937年東京、ロンドン間を飛び、実飛行51時間余りの記録を立てた国産の二人乗り飛行機。
Definition 1. A wind said to be the result of God's intervention. Especially the violent winds of the Kamakura era, Mongol invasions of Japan. Definition 2. During the Second World War, the name given to suicide squads of the military of the Hirohito era, Empire of Japan. Officially Kamikaze Tokubetsu Kogechitai, the Kamikaze Special Attack Forces. See also Tokotai. Definition 3. Relates to definition 2, an analogy for how they behaved, with total indifference to human life. See also kamikaze unten, literally kamikaze-like operation. Definition 4. Name of a Japanese two-seater airplane that flew between Tokyo and London in 1937, setting a record of over 51 hours of total flight time.
This word is offensive. You don't even need to take my word for it. Native speakers of good faith, writing before NFTs came into being, agree. Some people on my Twitter attempted to troll me regarding this, and native speakers who see no problem with this likely have ultranationalist tendencies. I have no fear stating that kamikaze is not a neutral term in Japanese. Even more, putting it on a hachimaki gives it more shockingly racist connotation, once again, especially for a foreigner. Even the far right idolized the divine wind because it repelled foreign invasions. Why? Because these exact hachimaki were given out as medals by the Imperial Japanese government under Hirohito during World War II. Now, you'll note that the order of the kanji is reversed in those. That's the traditional writing order. Traditionally, Japanese is written vertically, top to bottom, right to left. So kamikaze appears as kaze kami on the hachimaki. 4chan racists do not know this. It's clear that the below Pepe meme was the source. Proof 3. Writing the Kali Yuga and Yuga Labs, BAYC publisher, I considered this proof low quality, before BAYC lied about it. For those unaware, BAYC is produced by a company called Yuga Labs. In so-called esoteric Hitlerism, believed in by many in the alt-right, it is also why some of them worship a frog god called Kek. The Kali Yuga is the current era, an era of strife and contention, especially among races. To ride the Kali Yuga, then, is to accelerate events through trolling, to purposely attempt to make things worse to make them better, fascist, accelerationism. BAYC, through Yuga Labs, claimed that their use of Yuga was because of a video game character, a boss in The Legend of Zelda, a link between worlds for the Nintendo 3DS. This lie fell apart multiple ways. First, it was directly contradicted by another NFT creator, as shown by Paulie. Second, it was covered up by one of the 4 BAYC founders, Wiley Eronow, Gordon Goner. If there was truly no reason to think Kali Yuga was an alt-right meme, there would have been no reason to send a copyright claim via the DMCA to the Internet Archive, the only way to cause a takedown from the Wayback Machine. Proof 4. The names of 2 of the BAYC founders are 4chan memes/racist. The 4 founders are: at top right, Gordon Goner, Wiley Eronow; at top left, Gargamel, Greg Solano; at bottom left, Emperor Tomato Ketchup, Model I; at bottom right, No Sass, Zashan Ali. Before discussing the 2 with the racist names, it's worth noting that I believe Eronow's cringe quote-unquote ape is a reference to the 4chan growing stronger meme. It's also worth noting that all 4 pass for white. Frequently, defenders of BAYC have tried to use their countries of origin as proof they cannot be racist. Race is not ethnicity nor nationality, it is a social construct based on your appearance, and often groups many nationalities. So unclear were the boundaries of race in early racist American society, that the Supreme Court had to weigh in on whether quote-unquote high-caste Hindus were white. They said no, see United States versus Thind. People unfamiliar with the behavior of racists online, how blissful that ignorance must be, may think that surely, even if they pass as white and could believe in white supremacy, that's unlikely due to their countries of origin. Once again, no. As 8chan's admin, I can say with authority and certainty that the users of Pol were predominantly from Latin America, especially the countries of Chile, Uruguay, Argentina, and Peru. 8chan even had a very popular Argentina board, populated with all kinds of Argentines, but many racist ones too. In fact, all early board owners, 8chan's word for the Reddit concept of a subreddit's founding moderators, were from Latin America. Now to the suspicious names. Number 1, Emperor Tomato Ketchup. This name seems harmless to an outsider, but is deeply troubling. It is a 4chan meme to provide it as a movie suggestion, because it was a Japanese film released in 1970, since banned worldwide as child pornography. Just saying the title of the film is a meme, as it may trigger filtering software. Number 2, Gargamel, an anti-Semitic stereotype which appeared in the Smurfs. Used on 4chan as a racist caricature of Jewish people. Unbelievable to use this as a name. Solano even seems ashamed of it and tries to play it off by shortening it to Gaga, as he cannot admit he used a racist meme as a handle. Disgusting denialism. Section 3. Okay, wow, that's all really racist. Why would BAYC do this? This is where facts end and speculation begins. Note, since this article was written, I've started to lean towards theory 2. I'd like to recommend people calm down. Many seem to claim that the 4 founders are all in perfect unison, and that we know for a fact they all knew what they were doing. We don't know this. We don't know if they were trolling one another, or if they were doing it cynically, or who is who. I speculate that of the 4 founders, the 2 with racist names are most likely themselves racist, because duh. 2 main theories right now seem to me the most plausible. Theory 1, BAYC is racist to get on 4chan's good side. Many early NFTs were heavily promoted by 4chan, and audiences of alt-right celebrities such as Nick Fuentes and his Grow Ape gang. 4chan has a board called Business and Finance. It to me, if I were a clever NFT founder who only cared about profit, that I would insert dog whistles to get these types of people excited. Theory 2, BAYC is racist as a mass trolling campaign. Also possible, of course. If this is true, it is the most successful troll in world history. They have even trolled celebrities into accepting them and signing NDAs. I hope this is not true, but my main beat is anti-Q research, so, it could be. Q led to the January 6th attack after all. Section 3, okay, wow, that's all really racist. Why would BAYC do this? This is where facts end and speculation begins. Note, since this article was written, I've started to lean towards theory 2. I'd like to recommend people calm down. Many seem to claim that the 4 founders are all in perfect unison, and that we know for a fact they all knew what they were doing. We don't know this. We don't know if they were trolling one another, or if they were doing it cynically, or who is who. I speculate that of the 4 founders, the 2 with racist names are most likely themselves racist, because duh. 2 main theories right now seem to me the most plausible. Theory 1, BAYC is racist to get on 4chan's good side. Many early NFTs were heavily promoted by 4chan, and audiences of alt-right celebrities such as Nick Fuentes and his Grow Ape gang. 4chan has a board called short for Business and Finance. It seems to me, that were I a sufficiently clever NFT founder who only cared about profit, that I would insert dog whistles to get biz types excited. Theory 2, BAYC is racist as a mass trolling campaign. Also possible, of course. If this is true, it is the most successful troll in world history. They have even trolled celebrities into accepting them and signing NDAs. I hope this is not true, but my main beat is anti-Q research, so, it could be. Q led to the January 6th attack after all. Section 4, but wait, the people who discovered this aren't ethically pure. This does not matter. However, they are more pure than many are being led to believe. Because of how NFTs have been discussed in the media, there has been a lot of confusion by many about the NFT projects run by the main person who discovered this, on Twitter at RYDER_RIPPS. Here on Ryder Rips, especially the one called Ryder Rips BAYC, which features knockoff apes with, in many cases, the same art as the original BAYC. First of all, let's get a few things clear. 1. I own no Ryder Rips BAYC NFT. 2. I will never accept any Ryder Rips BAYC NFT. 3. I do not know if the actions of Ryder Rips vis-à-vis the Ryder Rips BAYC NFT are legal. I do not know if it is legal to use the copyrighted artwork, however racist, of BAYC this way. 4. I am a furry. My profile image is not an NFT. I have absolutely no financial conflict of interest with Ryder Rips, BAYC, NFTs, etc. I own no NFT, and never plan to do so. Note to readers, this section previously stated that Ryder Rips listed the Ryder Rips BAYC NFTs at 0 ETH. I apologize for the misunderstanding, it costed 0 ETH to reserve the knockoff apes, but between 0.1 ETH and 0.15 ETH to buy them. I assume this was done to raise money to fight them legally regarding Ryder Rips' logo, which some BAYC supporters, and BAYC themselves, claim infringes. However, there is indeed a secondary market in Ryder Rips BAYC NFTs, once they have been minted. I will discuss 2 related things about this. First, there is no proof that I am aware of that Ryder Rips has used this secondary market to profit. Feel free to make me aware. His source of wealth seems to be an earlier NFT project, as well as current other NFT projects. Some anti-racists are demanding unfair levels of ideological purity from Ryder Ripps. Let's think about why Ryder Ripps discovered this first, and not, perhaps, me. Because Ryder Ripps cared about NFTs. Ryder Ripps's behavior is genuinely eccentric, and many of Ryder Ripps's conceptual artworks sold as NFTs rightly strike many as grifts, especially his remint of CryptoPunk number 3100. I am not defending any of Ryder Ripps's NFTs. However, I don't think that we should immediately shut off our brains just because the speaker has been involved in the NFT market. No one else would have cared enough about removing racists from their community to do the extreme amount of research required and to take the amount of legal risk required to get people's attention. I do not think any NFTs are legitimate, either as free software projects or assets. I also do not think Ryder Ripps is a bad person for making NFTs. These issues are more complex. Some anti-racists have pointed to this text, which appeared when any Ryder Ripps BAYC NFT was reserved, as proof Ryder Ripps is somehow lying. By purchasing this Ryder Ripps artwork in the form of an NFT, you understand that this is a new mint of BAYC imagery, recontextualizing it for educational purposes, as protest and satirical commentary. You cannot copy an NFT. Please see the Ryder Ripps BAYC contract here to verify provenance, Etherscan. By reserving your Ryder Ripps/BAYC, you are purchasing a hold for an order that will be fulfilled or rejected/refunded by Ryder within 24 hours, depending on the vibe of your wallet and the mood of Ryder at the time. Sorry, no lies detected here. As a last resort, some anti-racists have accused Ryder Ripps of being in the wrong legally, for copying the artwork of BAYC wholesale. I'm not a lawyer, so won't even try to respond to this. I do not care. It does not make Ryder Ripps wrong about BAYC racism. That is what I care about. Some, such as Liv Agar, rightly pointed to the fact that Fillion, a YouTuber, showed his Ryder Ripps BAYC NFT, whom he named Caesar, in the viral YouTube presentation I saw, which made me aware of this entire incident, as possibly unethical due to it raising the secondary market value of his NFT, as a conflict of interest. It was not a conflict I thought particularly important, and before I knew that Fillion had disabled ads and monetization on his YouTube video, I even found it unethical. But Fillion not only did that, but made this promise to me in private, that he would not resell his Ryder Ripps Caesar NFT, which only peaked at a few $100s anyway. That satisfies me. And now for the conclusion. As I said on Twitter, it is plain. Owning a BAYC NFT, knowing its racist origins, is equivalent to owning a Ku Klux Klan uniform. Burn your BAYC NFT. Inform holders of BAYC NFTs of BAYC racism. Refuse to work with BAYC NFT avatars. This is a big deal. Do not allow this trolling campaign, or whatever the fuck it is, to continue.
ご清聴ありがとうございました。
This has been an Amazon Polly recording of a Medium article I wrote, available in the description.